Short and sweet. How you sell matters, what your process is matters, but how your customers feel when they engage with you matters more. Tiffany Boba. Never heard of her before. She's some type of motivational speaker,
Mm. Why did
global
that
motive.
resonate with you?
Huh?
Why did that resonate with you?
It resonates with me because that's what our business is. Everything that we do, step by step, matters. How we sell it to them, how we present it to them, the process we use to do it, and how they feel is the most important after we get through with that. But every step we take in this business matters.
Right on, right on. You're so right about that. I can't tell you how many times I've thought about to myself, are we customer service or are we sales? You know, is it more human resources or is it more assets, right? You know, I just look at the business in a different type of way, and customer service is always the way to go. And even in sales, we're always constantly servicing our customer. We are always thinking more about them than they're thinking for us, right? Matter of fact, we don't even allow ourselves to think of ourselves because we could possibly do wrong by our customer by doing that. So I love it. Thank you for that, right? We got to find out who she is. She might be somebody that we need to look out for.
Well, I looked her up. She's an evangelist, first of all. They call her the evangelist of Salesforce.
Okay.
And she's been doing this for decades. She's led the large revenue producing visions of business ranging from self-startups to Fortune 500 companies.
Okay.
Been
Right.
up there for a while. Just never heard of her. I just ran across and thought her quote was kind of interesting.
We'll look out for her. She definitely sounds like a high value person. All right, Ron, you're up.
Okay. I was going to continue on the training thing, but after what the guys did this week and what my man Martin did on Saturday, champions just came to my head. So let me give you these quotes here.
Let's get it. I'm ready.
It's amazing. I love that kid. Okay. Everyone has the fire, but the champions know when to ignite the spark. That's one.
Okay.
To be a champion, compete. To be a great champion, compete with the best. But to be the greatest champion, compete with yourself.
Rich and healthy. Tell me, why does that resonate with you this morning?
Well, for some of the veteran guys, man, when you wake up in the morning, like you said, man, you always have to have a goal in mind. Lamisha does it all the time, and she tells us she's going to make 10 sales. She makes 12 sales. You wake up in the morning, right, and you have a positive attitude, and you know that today you're going to make some money. You do what you got to do, you know, no matter what it takes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, I know exactly what you mean. You know, we're dealing so much with the field and the sales guys, and that's really the portion of this business that I truly love, is dealing with the sales department. When I look at these guys, you know, I see myself in a lot of them, you know, and I try to coach them as much as I possibly can in terms of just making sure, like, hey, you know, I feel the same way you do. But, you know, the difference between me is I'm gonna make it happen anyway. I'm gonna make this look easy today, right? I know already what I need to do, you know, and it's odd to me when I see people, you know, take this position, get dressed, come out to the field, and then not over deliver, not become over committed to what it is that they're doing. Because, you know, all commission is a scary. It should give you that funny feeling in the pit of your stomach that says, what if I'm lazy? If you're lazy, you're gonna make zero. Now, if you're somebody that's definitely has determination, that definitely has a will to survive and a will to do better each and every day of your life, then you're gonna probably make more money you ever made in your life. You're probably going to go on to heights never seen and things that you never thought of. But, you know, very different paths, right? So you never know who's going to take what. But everybody tells you that they want this path. Everybody tells you, like, it sounds so sexy when you explain it to them and as they're talking it back to you. But then when it's time to do it, it is unfortunate. About 90%. I would say 90% won't, right? And we'll take an easier route. So that's what we deal with. It's okay. Either way it go. Thank you for that quote. Alive and alert, guys. Let's move on. Let's get some training going. Share my screen with you. I know how this thing goes now.
Hmm.
I know how it goes now when it starts me off at the wrong spot. I know how to navigate it a little bit better.
On that little side,
Yeah,
and don't check my.
I'm learning. All right, so guys, now I'm going to share my screen with you here. We're going to spend the next 2 minutes and 28 seconds. Follow the opportunity.
The opportunity. Look, in many ways, the follow-up call can be more challenging than a cold call, and nobody wants to do the cold call. So, and I'm telling you, the follow-up call in many ways can be even more challenging than following up somebody or making contact with somebody that you've not even met before, the cold call. Look, it's a follow-up call, however, that really gets a sales cycle rolling. A number of things that could be happening with a customer is they're no longer interested. They hit your website, they called you, they actually visited your company and then said, man, we don't really want to do this. This is not our priority right now. We don't need to do this. I know I've done that. I know I've gone to look at homes. I've looked at homes. Look, I've looked at homes all weekend, the next weekend, the following weekend, and then just completely lost interest in it because something else showed up on my radar. Had nothing to do with the real estate agent, had nothing to do with real estate, didn't have anything to do with mortgages. I just lost interest because all of a sudden my focus went to something else. Look, there's many reasons that we'll be going over why people lose interest in your product, why a lead is no longer interested. Here's the fact. 73% in business to business are not sales ready. I'm talking about prospect. 73%. Businesses that sell to businesses, 73% of those clients are not ready for your product. 50% of those prospects are not ready to buy. 79%, they say by survey, never convert into a sale. Most of those are contributed to not nurturing. 65% of all companies never nurture a lead. So you're out of the game if you're not going to nurture them. For the 35% of you that are paying attention, that want to be game changers in your space, you're going to nurture the lead. I'm telling you, following up a customer can many times be more difficult than a cold call. They showed interest and now they're not. We'll be going over all these scenarios, how to get them reinterested. But let's say a customer showed interest and now they're not. How do you get them to come back to being interested? That many times is more difficult. There's a lot of strategies that I'll be sharing with you. There's a lot of very deep intricacies that I'll be showing you. I'm going to go through this information fast. Don't do it once. And anything that you see, you're like, I could never use that. Pay attention to that one, because that one might be the one that helps you the most.
All right, all right.
The opportunity. Look, in many ways, the follow-up call can be more.
Let's see what we learned today. What percentage of prospects will not be ready to buy? Is it 50%, 80%, 60%, or 57%?
50.
50.
2-8. Let's get it. True or false? Following up with the customer is easier than a cold call. Is that true or false?
Following up?
Yep. True or false? Following up with the
Yeah.
customer is easier than a cold call.
False. He said that. More difficult.
We
He
got
said
one.
more powerful. So he trying to throw us off with that word. Ooh wee. No way I do it. Oh, I'm gonna say false because he said it's more powerful. So does powerful make it easy,
Okay.
easier?
You know, I don't.
No, he said the follow-up is harder than it is the original, he said, than the cold call.
No. Well, listen.
I'm gonna go with A.
You guys
I'm
have.
gonna go with A. I'm gonna say. No, I'm sticking with B. False. We're changing your man. Follow your first man.
Okay. So listen, we're gonna go with B. We're gonna go with B. Okay, but yeah, sure, right?
What you think?
Well, we don't have Lamisha on the call, so you're number 3, Quincy. Come on, man. What do you think, bro?
Right. I think A. I think A all day long. But if you guys are sure,
A?
we'll go with B.
What was A's answer? What was that?
I would think it would be easier, but he didn't say anything about easier. He kept saying it's more powerful. So does powerful and easier mean the same thing in this context?
I think so. I think
Well,
so.
then I'm going with true.
Quincy, he didn't say the follow-up call is more difficult. Most people don't want to do it than the original call.
In the video, he says that. He says that the follow-up call is easier than the cold call. It's more important. However, he said it, right? But the idea is that
Use the word powerful. So I'm gonna go with A. True.
I would go with A.
Sorry, Ron. I deserved you, Ron.
All right, I got to go with A then too. Let me have it.
Let's check it out. Let's see what we got here. All right. Blank gets the sales process rolling. An internet lead gets the sales process rolling. B, a customer arriving to the store gets the sales process rolling. C, the demonstration gets the sales process rolling. Or the follow-up call gets the sales process rolling.
B.
C.
So 1C and 1D, did I hear correct?
C.
Okay, was that, mommy, what you say, C?
I said D.
Okay, so you got 1D and 1C? Excuse me. All right, so let's take a look at this question. Blank gets the sales process rolling. A, an internet lead. A customer arriving to the store, the demonstration gets the sales process rolling. The follow-up call gets the sales process rolling.
D.
D.
Ouch.
Listen, how were you able to say ouch before the results came on the screen?
Because when you click on it, if it's red, we fail. If it's green, we fail.
All right. So let's talk about this. The following customer is easier than a cold call. We put true, and then the answer is actually false. So you guys were right. It was false. Following up with a customer is easier than a cold call.
I told
Ron,
you that.
I deserted you.
Yep, absolutely. You definitely told us, Ron. We better listen to you. True or false?
Yep, and I said it first, and then I deserted it.
Yep.
Charlene, too late.
Too late, look too late, ain't it?
Yep.
67 hurt. Absolutely, it stings. What did we learn?
What did we learn? He loves to try out numbers. That's what we learned. That's the first thing we learned. The second thing is, man, follow up, man, follow up. I guess this is what that whole section is about. You know, and people sometimes, like he said, people afraid to make that second call, you know? Funny. Crazy.
Very much so. Very much so. I've seen it a lot over my time in sales, mainly because I think that people they're not proud of the job they did. They feel like they just escaped with the sale. They didn't really, they didn't really know exactly how they helped the customer. I feel fine following up with any customer that I've ever signed up. Why? Because I know I know how I helped them. So at that point, I know that they're possibly even looking forward to hearing from me. And if they're not, then I know it's a reflection of me, to be totally honest with you, the way I think of it. Anybody else pick anything else up?
Nope.
All right. Well, with
Being
that,
powerful. Well, I learned just now that being powerful with the follow up is being more powerful and easier is definitely not the same thing. Which
right.
kind of put that together after you said what you said, and I thought that maybe they could mean the same thing, powerful and easier, but it's not.
Yeah. Yeah. Some of the things that we learn is always going to be left up to the person as well, right? So it's not always a clear-cut, defined, straight road that we're on. Not in sales, right? You might find it easier to do a follow-up. You might find it easier to do a cold call, right? So it doesn't matter. The idea is, though, is that we need to just train and make sure that we understand the difference and understand where we possibly can, what we can pick up as a tool to put inside of our tool belt. So one of the things that we always focus on is that the fact of the matter, it don't matter about the grade, it matters about what we learned, right? Just like I tell my 13-year-old daughter, yeah, she's about to go back to school. Okay, great. You know what? Daddy's excited because you're going back to school. I'm not too worried about the grades. I'm worried about what you learn, right? We're going to take up a second language. What sports you doing this year, right? Who are your friends going to be? Are you guys focused on this or you guys focused on that? I'm more worried about the environment, the culture that she's in, not less about the grades, because I know what she learns is all going to be in those other things, not just the grades. We got a 67, but we're not learning at a 67 grade level.